Hey guys, welcome back to our VCP6.5 ICM hands-on training. This is lab 3 into our series. In this lab, we'll go ahead and learn how do we really go ahead and configure and deploy a virtual machine or a VM on our recently installed and configured ESXi host. So this is the objective for this lab. We'll go ahead and learn how to create an empty virtual machine or a virtual machine that you can potentially use later on to install a guest operating system. That guest operating system could be, you can work with Windows, you can work with Linux, you can work with any other OS or any other kind of appliance that you want to go ahead and install. Then later on, we'll go ahead and take a look at how do you really install the VMware tool. Let's say if you're installing some kind of a guest operating system, let's say Windows, to really improve some of the performance in terms of the keyboard, mouse, the UI, the graphic. It's kind of really recommended to have the VMware tools installed. So without any further ado, let's jump onto our browser. And in the browser, I went ahead and typed the IP address of our ESXi host, and this is the screen that we are presented with. Now let's go ahead and log in with the credential that we used during the install. So now go ahead and once you are done, you are presented with this kind of UI. If you take a look on this UI, let me zoom it up a little bit. On the left hand side, we have different options that says host, manage, monitor. There is a virtual machine right now. The count is 0. There is storage. It says 1, networking 1. On top of the screen, it says the user that you're logged into the server. There are a couple of other information. The host name of this ESXi host is localhost.local domain. If you recall, in the previous session, we had not assigned any host name or configured any domain name. You can take a look at the version that of the ESXi that we are working at 6.5.0 update 2. It's been up for 0.13 days, and this is particular build. The CPU, CPU, the capacity is as much. The memory is used 2.7 gig. The total capacity is 127.9 gig. Storage is being used right now is 977 MB. The capacity is 1.08 terabyte, and it currently says, hey, you are currently using ESXi in eval mode. The license will expire in 60 days, so we get for our lab. And if you recall, in the previous lab, we had enabled the SSH, so that's the reason there's a warning. SSH is enabled on this host. You should disable SSH unless it is necessary for the administrative purpose. So we okay. Now let me go ahead and click on to the now on the hardware. If you take a look, it talks about, okay, hey, the server you are using is a UCSC 220M4S. These are CPU and other details. It kind of shows, and here you can take a look at the IP address that was assigned to the ESXi. So the IP address ESXi denotes it's called as a VMK0, which is VM kernel 0, and that's the IP address that's being assigned. This is our default gateway. You can take a look at some of the other information on this side. ESXi, date and time. This is the serial number for our server, BIOS version, and a few more details if you scroll onto the bottom of the screen. On the storage, you can take a look at the data store. There is one data store by name data store 1, and we will go ahead and explore some of these things as we continue to work in this series. Now let's go ahead and create our first virtual machine. So onto the host in the right hand side, there are a couple of options: virtual machine, storage, networking. So we can just simply go ahead and click on the virtual machine, and on the virtual machine page there is no virtual machine. To create a virtual machine, there is an option that says create/register VM. So simply go ahead and click on create a register virtual machine. Now we are presented with a virtual machine creation wizard. So in this wizard there are a couple of options. So we'll go ahead and say, hey, create a new virtual machine, and everything looks good. If you want to deploy an OVA OVF, you can go ahead and select that. If you had an existing virtual machine, if you want to re-register that virtual machine, you can go ahead and do that. But in our case, this is our very first virtual machine, so we will stick to the default option that says create a new virtual machine. Once that's done, just simply go ahead and click next. On the second screen, it says select a name and OS. So on this page, it says, okay, hey, what is the potential name that you want to assign to your VM and what kind of operating system you plan to install. So I'm going to call it my VM1, and on this VM1, the compatibility, I want to keep it a ESXi 6.5 virtual machine. If you want this VM to be compatible with older version, you can go ahead and select that. But in this series, we are focusing on 6.5, so we will be selecting 6.5 as our compatibility version. In the guest OS family, there are a couple of OS families available to us. There is a Linux, Mac OS, others, and Windows. So we will be working with Windows in this example. So I'll go ahead and select Windows. The third option is guest OS version. Hey, what kind of a virtual machine that you plan to deploy? There is quite a bit of option. So in this case, I will be installing a Microsoft Windows 7 64-bit. Once everything looks good on this page, we can just simply go ahead and next here. On this page, we are presented with the data store where we plan to host or store the VMDK or the config files of this virtual machine. So if you read it, it says the following data stores are accessible from the destination resource that you selected. Select the destination data store for the virtual machine configuration file and all of the virtual disk. So that means the VM1 that we are creating, its configuration file as well as the virtual disk will be stored onto this data store, and the data store name is data store 1. The capacity of that data store is 1.08 terabyte, and right now the free space is 1.08 terabyte. The type of this data store, it says a VMFS5 and some of the other details. Once everything looks good, just simply go ahead and click next here. This page talks about the customized setting. That means on this page we can go ahead and change or make a different changes in terms of the CPU, memory, hard drive, and other things that we want to assign to our this virtual machine. So in the CPU, I will go ahead and change the CPU instead of 1 to 8 virtual CPUs. So we will be working with 8 virtual CPUs. The amount of memory, you can change the units from MB to gig. So let me go ahead and change it to gig, and we will go ahead and assign 16 gig of memory to this VM. If you want to do any reservation, we'll go ahead and learn some of these things later in our lab. The hard drive, I am okay to keep it with 32 gig hard drive. If you want to go ahead and change it, we can certainly go ahead and change it, but let's leave it to 32 gig for the time being. We good with this particular setting. Now in terms of the network adapter, it says okay, hey, when this VM comes up, where do you want to connect the virtual NIC of this VM? So we are okay with to go right now into the VM network. We will go ahead and learn some of these things later on to the series. For CD DVD host device, we can go ahead and select a data store, but in this case host device is good for us. And any other change, if you want to make a change to video card, you can go ahead and certainly do that. The SCSI controller in this case is LSI Logic SAS. And again, on the second tab, we have these are the different VM options. If you want to delete the boot or any other things, you can go ahead and configure some of those options on this page. Once everything is done, looks good, we'll just simply go ahead and click next here. And on this, we are presented with a kind of a summary of so far what we have done. Hey, we are creating a VM1. We'll be storing the files onto this data store. The OS that we plan to install on this VM is Windows 7 64-bit. The compatibility is 6.5, and these are the spec of the virtual machine that we plan to deploy. When everything looks good, just simply go ahead and click on finish here. And you can go ahead and expand the recent task. On the recent task, it will say, okay, hey, we went ahead and created a VM, and that is done. Now, once that's done, it shows, okay, here is the VM1, and these are some of the details of the VM1. There's a VM1. The OS that we plan to install is Windows 7 64-bit. The compatibility is 6.5, and a few other things that we can take a look. Our VM creation is done. Now let's go ahead and install a guest operating system onto this VM. So we will be installing Windows 7 as we discussed. So to speed up the Windows install, I will show you another way. In this case, we will go ahead and upload the Windows ISO to this ESXi's data store, and from that data store we will mount that ISO onto this VM for the installation. For that, on the left hand side, go to the storage. On the storage, once you click on the storage, on the right hand side there are a couple of options. You would see the name of the data store. So in this case, the name of the data store is data store 1. Simply go ahead and click on data store 1. Once you're in data store 1, again you can take a look at some of the details, like type is VMFS5, the version is 5.81, the block size is 1 MB, this is the UUID, and some of the other details. So on the same page, there's an option that says browse data store. So just simply go ahead and click on data store browser, and on the data store on the left hand side, it shows the name of the data store, which is data store 1. On the right hand side, it shows few of the information, and there is one folder by name VM-1. And if you click on the VM-1, there are quite a bit number of files. We'll go ahead and take a look some of these files later on. So simply go ahead and click on data store 1, and there is an option that says create directory. So let's go ahead and create a directory where we will go ahead and upload our ISO or the installation for Windows 7 ISO. So click on create directory, give it a name. So I'll call it ISO files. Go ahead and click on create directory. Once that directory is created, go ahead and select that directory. Now we are inside that directory. Within that directory, once you have clicked on the bottom, you can say, okay, hey, in the data store 1 right now, you are inside ISO files 1. There is an option that says upload. So we'll go ahead and click on upload, and within the upload, so I went ahead and selected my Windows file, the installation file, and we went ahead and just simply did an upload. So this upload is going to take some time. Once this is over, we will continue. So it took us few minutes, but our file upload is finally done, and as you can see inside the the ISO files folder, we have our Windows 7 ISO. Now we can go ahead and make use of this ISO for the installation of the operating system onto the virtual machine that we created. So simply go ahead and click close here. Now go back on the left hand side and click on virtual machines. Now on the virtual VM1, we need to go ahead and make few changes. So go ahead and select VM1. Under the actions, go ahead and click on edit setting. On the edit setting page, we'll go ahead and scroll down under where the option says CD DVD drive 1 and change the option from host device to Datastore ISO file. Now in the Datastore browser, go ahead and select the ISO files folder and go ahead and select the Windows 7 ISO image, and then simply go ahead and click on select here. Make sure to click on the option that says connect and just go ahead and expand this option, and make sure connected power on is also selected. Once these are the things looks good, just simply go ahead and click on save here. Once we have applied the changes, simply go ahead and power on the VM. You can simply click on power on button here, or even you can go ahead and click on the VM itself. That will also power on this VM. So go ahead and click on power on. It'll be a couple seconds and it says reconfig VM. It's done. And now you just simply go ahead and click to open the browser, the console, and we are inside the console of the VM. And as you can see, Windows installation has started. So this installation is going to take a few minutes or so. So we'll go through the whole install here. Windows installation has started. We are being presented with some of the options. So let's go ahead and select the install language, the currency and the format, keyboard and other things. If everything looks good, just simply go ahead and hit next and click on install now button. So we can see the setup is starting. So right now the setup is reading all the information from the ISO file that we just attached, that we uploaded to the data store. Go ahead and select the license terms and everything. If everything looks good, go ahead and select next here. Go ahead and select the I accept the license terms. Simply go ahead and click next here. On the screen, go ahead and install a new copy of Windows. So simply go ahead and click on custom advanced, and you are presented with the disk 0 unallocated space. If you recall, when we created a VM, we went ahead and assigned a 32 gig of hard drive. That's what you see here. So yep, this is the drive where we want to install our Windows. Go ahead and select this one and simply go ahead and click next. Now the setup will probably start copying the file. So this is going to take, I guess, 10 to 15 minutes. So once the install is done, we will continue from there. So our Windows installation has completed, and you can see the VM is rebooting. And after reboot, you can see the system is trying to set up our Windows. Now the install is done. We are being presented with the config of our VM. Now let's go ahead and specify a username. So I'll go ahead and type the username and the name of the PC that you want to go ahead and call it. So I'll call it VM, just to specify it's running on my ESXi 43. So I'll say VM 43-1. You can go ahead and pick any computer name that you like. Once that's done, go ahead and simply type a password that for your VM. Provide any hint for the password. I don't want to activate my Windows. I'm okay with the eval for the time being, so I'll leave the product key. I'll just simply go ahead and click next. You are being presented with some of the settings. You can do recommended settings, or you can configure them later. It's up to you. I'll just do use recommended settings. Date and time looks good, okay for my case, and then I'll simply go ahead and say this is my home network. Once that's done, Windows is trying to reinitialize, and it's going to go ahead and reboot our VM, as you can see. And that's good. We are finally done with the installation of Windows 7 64 on the VM that we went ahead and created. There are a few things that we need to go ahead and do that. So now on top of the VM, click on the actions and go ahead and click on edit setting. Remember, we had mapped the ISO file, so just go ahead and simply disconnect that one. So we don't want to connect it to power on, and once that looks okay, just simply go ahead and click save. That means next time if we reboot, we don't want system to be trying to reboot again using the ISO. There is one more setting I like to do on my VMs, especially running Windows in the lab. Now go to the start menu and go to the control panel. Within the control panel, we have the option of system and security. Within the system and security, there is an option that says Windows Update. So simply go ahead and click on Windows Update, or there is an option that says change settings. So within the change change settings install instead of installing the update. For the lab things or for this series, we'll just simply go ahead and say never check for update. I know that's not a recommended option for something production, but for lab, that's very good. So we went ahead and successfully installed the operating system onto our VM. But if you have noticed, when we are clicking in some of the things, the mouse is kind of laggy and there is a little bit of slowness around that. To improve some of these gestures, we can go ahead and install the VMware tools. So within the Actions tab, we can go, there is something called Guest OS, and on the Guest OS, there is an option that says install VMware tools. And again, I would highly encourage you to install these VMware tools. As it says, once you hit that, it's going to mount the VMware tool installer CD-ROM in the guest operating system, and it will go ahead and start the installation. So just simply go ahead and click on install VMware tools. Once you do that, just going to be a couple seconds, and it should auto launch. If not, we can always go to the computer and just simply double click on this one, and on the screen we'll just say simply yes. And now we can start doing the installation of the, and again you can see the autoplay did came up. It just took some time, but that's okay. We can just simply go ahead and close this one because we have started install by going to the my computer and double clicking on the CD-ROM icon. So it'll be just a few more seconds or minute and we'll be done with the installation of VMware tools. Simply go ahead and hit next, and then I'm okay with the typical being the option selected for install. Go ahead and simply click next and then hit the install button. It'll be a few more seconds and we'll be done with the install of the VMware tools. Once the install is done, we will be prompted for the restart of the Windows OS. So simply go ahead and restart your guest operating system. Install is done. Simply go ahead and hit finish here. We are presented with the restart of the OS, so simply go ahead and hit yes. After reboot, we are presented with the admin login, so simply go ahead and supply your password and log in to the Windows OS. I'm not sure if you can really notice, but my mouse gesture and few other things are really smooth thanks to VMware too. And this concludes the lab 3 into our VCP 6.5 hands-on training. I will see you in the next lab. Thank you.